Hello and welcome to eLagan Whiteboard Fridays, where we look at various tax and compliance related issues in a user-friendly fashion. Today we will look at if we are trying to raise a money, what are the steps that you need to go through, and so what is exactly the funding process end to end, what it takes as to raise a money and complete the whole transaction. The first thing about raising money is first you have to find an investor and discuss your idea and plan with the investor. So once the investor agree to fund you, then you receive something called a term sheet from the investor. So a term sheet is actually is a document which contains the detail of the whole transaction. This would include things like valuation, what is the valuation he is offering you, things like how the control and equity restructuring would be done, what would be the exit options, what are the things that you will have to do to take the investor on board, and certain other economics like exit economics or the control of the management or the board of directors. So all those things would be actually given you in brief in a document called a term sheet. So once you receive a term sheet, then you review it and negotiate on the term sheet, because that's the time where you have to negotiate, and you also come to know what valuation and other conditions that the investor is putting to give you the money. So you should get it reviewed through a legal expert from the legality perspective, and some of the other finance and economic terms you should review it yourself and see what makes sense. Term sheet typically would contain a lot of points and topics or blocks, what I would say. Don't go back and fight on each and every topic. So select 5 or 6 most important thing that makes difference to you in the whole term sheet, and try to negotiate on those term sheet rather than each and everything, because then the investor also don't feel comfortable. And many of them could be standard practices, but many of them also follows in investor to investor. But more important than being standard or anything, it should make sense for the whole line of business. You should also be comfortable. So if you just raise money, if you are not comfortable, then that may not be a long-term relationship. So you should be comfortable, the investor should also be comfortable. So review and negotiate the term sheet accordingly. Once the term sheet is through, then you have to sign the term sheet, and then you also enter into something called a no-shop period. So this means that until the whole funding is completed, you actually cannot talk to any other investors and get a term sheet from them. So that's something that you should be aware of. So it's not that we'll sign term sheet and we are already discussing to 5 more guys. So let's get their term sheet as well. So once you sign this, then you cannot actually sign the term sheet with anybody else until this particular transaction is completed. Then then there is a detailed shareholders agreement, or share subscription and shareholder agreement, what we call. So that would actually give you the complete detail, and that should be governed by the terms and conditions that has been agreed into the term sheet. But it would be a much more detailed document. So you'll have to go through that and again sign the SHA or triple SHA. Once you sign the shareholder agreement, then you are formally into the agreement with the investor. Now the investor also cannot back off and you also cannot back off, provided certain things occur. So once the SSA, a triple SHA is signed, then the investor will start their due diligence. Now depending on what shape you are in, like if you are a very early stage company or you have just started, then there may not be too many activities to do in the due diligence. But if you are already a running company, or if you are a company 2-3 years old or 1 year or 6 months, whatever, some history, then they would actually like to have a detailed due diligence on various aspects like legal, financial parameters, how you have kept your books, are you compliant, all your contracts, all your arrangements, anything that you have done, so which could impact the long term or in short term to the company. There could be things on the financial, how you have maintained all your books, are you a clean company or not, all the taxes, all the compliances are done or not. So these are some aspects where the due diligence would be done. If the due diligence is through, then only the investors will give you the money. So until the due diligence, and if there is any objections or anything in due diligence, then the investor can actually give you some more time to see. Again, it depends on what kind of objection it is. So what could be the way out and how to fix those issues and errors that you have entered into. So that's the whole process. Once that is done, then you will receive money to your account, and that's the day when you should actually celebrate that you have raised money, because until this is not done, the money can actually go back and stuff. So you will receive the money to your account. Once you receive the money, there will be certain set of activities that you will have to do. One is again based on what kind of deal it was, whether it was an equity deal, preference shares or convertible notes or debentures, what you have agreed on to issue to investors, you have to issue those instruments to the investor. And any other compliances, for example, like if you are raising a foreign money, then you may have to go and do the compliances, FEMA compliances with RBI, or just issuing the shares, printing the share certificates and completing intimating the registrar of companies. So those all activities, there would be a list of activities which is typically called as CS or conditions subsequent. So once you raise the money, then what are the conditions subsequent to raising the money? And these are more like CP, which is conditions precedent to raising the money. So this is more or less the steps when you are doing a funding process. First talk to the investors, and then once you receive the term sheet, these would be the broad steps that you would have to go through to complete the entire funding transaction. That's it in eLagan Whiteboard Friday. Please feel free to drop us an email at support@elagan.com or check out our KB at elagan.com/KB. Thanks for attending the Whiteboard Friday. Thank you.